Political Perspective. I'm your host, Amin Robinson. Now, ever since last week's atrocious GOP debate which took place on CNBC, there's been a lot of tension between the Republican Party and TV networks that are going to host their future debates. The Republican National Committee suspended NBC for a debate that was supposed to take place on February. Now, the Republican candidates took it upon themselves to negotiate debate terms with the TV networks that are supposed to host the debates in the future as well. However, they can't come to a consensus. A lot of them don't agree with signing the debate form. And you know what? I agree with them. And I'm going to give you my reasons why I believe that this whole debate negotiation form is preposterous. First, let's take a look at the clip, and I'll come back with my commentary.
Have you noticed that every one of these candidates say, Obama's weak. Putin's kicking sand in his face. When I talk to Putin, he's going to straighten out. Just looking at him, he's going to be. And then it turns out they can't handle a bunch of CNBC moderators at a debate. I mean, let me tell you, if you can't handle those guys, then I don't think the Chinese and the Russians are going to be too worried about you.
Breaking tonight, the attempt by Republican candidates to take greater control over future debates is facing a new setback, as a growing list of contenders now refuse to sign a letter to TV networks outlining their demands. Among some of the proposals, a minimum 30 seconds set aside for opening and closing statements for each candidate, because you always love that part, don't you? A ban on so-called lightning rounds of questioning, and a pledge to keep the temperature below 67 degrees. Guess who that one came from? Texas Senator Ted Cruz is here, but first we begin with New Jersey Governor Christie, who is refusing to sign the letter. Why?
Because it's stupid.
What do you mean?
Well, because put a podium up on a stage, stand me behind it, let some people ask me questions, and I will answer them.
Mm-hmm. And what about the unfair debate moderators?
Well, listen, if you can't handle that, then you shouldn't be running for president of the United States. It's not that I like it. Nobody likes being treated unfairly if you feel that's the way you're being treated. But quite frankly, the bigger problem I had with the moderators here tonight was they didn't control the debate at all.
They need a buzzer. But Ted Cruz is coming up behind you, and he is going to say, look, their goal, the goal of what he perceives as liberal Democrat debate moderators, is just to ding up the Republican candidates, and we can't have that.
Well, of course that's their goal. And by the way, that's going to be their goal next fall when we're debating Hillary Clinton. And what you want is somebody who's up there who doesn't care. I don't care about that. I care about prosecuting the case against Hillary Clinton. That's what I was doing on the stage the other night in the CNBC debate. I didn't allow myself to get distracted by that. And you call people out when you think they're wrong. Like, when Harwood was interrupting me, I said even in New Jersey we'd say that's rude.
That was one of the lines of the night.
Right, you got to call people out.
That's saying something.
Right, it is, right?
Yeah,
right? And so,
some of my best friends live there.
So you got to, that's nice. So you got to call people out on it and then answer the question and talk to the people at home.
What about, but his argument is he keeps saying they're trying to pick the most conservative person. This is what the Republican primary voters are looking for. Who is the most conservative person? So you need conservative debate moderators like Hugh Hewitt, or he wants a debate by Rush, Levin, and Hannity, which he thinks will help the process more.
Listen, I don't care who the moderators are, Megan. It doesn't matter to me. Whoever is up there is up there. My job is to listen to the questions, answer the questions. If I don't like them, to call them out on them, and to communicate to the people at home. When we have $19 trillion in debt, ISIS plotting against us, the Russians in the Middle East, and a 1.5% growth in our economy, we're really going to spend any time arguing about the moderators?
We are, apparently. I don't know.
Well, ridiculous. I'm not going to do it.
Doing it.
I'm not doing it.
What do you make of on what appears to be the increase of intra-party fighting? Trump's attacking this guy, and Carson and Rubio, now Jeb and Rubio are fighting, and so on.
Well, I'm just not participating in it. I mean, the fact is, nobody cares. Nobody cares about whether Jeb speaks English or Spanish. Nobody cares about, Trump and how much money he made or how many times he lost money or Carly's business record or anything. No one cares about that. What people care about is the folks at home. They're trying to say, how are we going to get this economy going again so my kid can get a job? How are we going to pay off our student loans? How are we going to keep our country safe? And why isn't the President of the United States standing up for police officers across this country? Why are we allowing there to be increased violence with liberal law enforcement policies? And why isn't the president a voice of strength on that? His own FBI director says.
Like I said before, I'll say it again. This whole debate negotiation process is preposterous. And I'm going to give you my reasons why. Number one, politics is personal. When you're the president of the United States, the whole world's eyes are on you. If you cannot handle moderators asking you personal questions at a debate, you're not fit to be president. When you're president, you're like a celebrity. Everybody's eyes are on you at all times. And if you have any skeletons in your closet, trust me, they're going to come out. Look what happened to Clinton. Look how the media scrutinizes Obama every single day and scrutinizes every single thing that he does. So if you can't handle personal questions, you can handle the presidency. Number two, life is not fair. You cannot control what happens and when it happens in life. So if you don't like something, that doesn't mean that you have the right to change how things are going to occur. Number three, this sets a bad precedent for future Republican presidential candidates, as well as Democratic as well. Because let's say this whole debate negotiation process falls through. People in the future who want to run for president, whether they're Republican or Democrat, they're going to say to themselves, well, they negotiated terms, so we should do the same thing. Let's use it to our advantage. So, in my opinion, this sets a bad precedent. And number four, the most important reason why this is preposterous is because this is taking the focus out of what's important. The only thing that's important right now is for us to figure out who's the best man or woman for the job. This whole debate negotiation process is taking up all the media's time, and it's taking the focus out of who's the best candidate for the job. Let me know what you think, and subscribe.